first way of managing is really through your diet. The two main diets that doctors suggest, and even those who, go through this themselves found that it has helped them a lot, is an auto-inflammatory diet and the Mediterranean diet. Hey friends, welcome to Sav Speaks. If you're new here, I became a believer through chronic illness, and I wish to use this platform to spread awareness, guidance, and discipleship. Today's video is going to be about how to manage liver cirrhosis. Let's get right into it. By the way, I'm going to be folding my clothes at the same time. Yesterday I decided to wait until I had 4 loads of laundry to wash and dry, so this is the result. So what is liver cirrhosis? According to Mayo Clinic, cirrhosis is one of the last stages of scarring, which is also called fibrosis. It's caused by many forms of liver diseases such as hepatitis, autoimmune or non-autoimmune, and chronic alcoholism. Each time your liver is injured and it tries to repair itself, scarring is what occurs. As the cirrhosis progresses, more scar tissue, it makes it difficult for the liver to function. As a result, the liver damage can't be undone once you are diagnosed with cirrhosis, but if it is diagnosed early and the cause is treated, then further damage can be limited. I was diagnosed in 2019 with autoimmune hepatitis and cirrhosis. 2.5 months ago, I was gifted by the grace of God with a transplant. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the symptoms. I actually have a video that goes into more detail about the physical symptoms of autoimmune hepatitis and cirrhosis. So I'm gonna post the link for you guys right here so you guys can go check that out. Some of the common symptoms are fatigue, itchiness, bruising easily, nausea, edema, ascites, weight loss, jaundice, spider veins, and for women, you may experience a loss of your menstruation cycle. You can also experience hepatic encephalopathy, which is also known as brain fog. How do you manage it? I know that was a long list of symptoms. You may not experience all of these, and if you do, my heart is with you because this is a lot to handle. The first way of managing is really through your diet. The two main diets that doctors suggest, and even those who, go through this themselves found that it has helped them a lot, is an auto-inflammatory diet and the Mediterranean diet. The anti-inflammatory diet helps reduce inflammation. When you have cirrhosis and liver disease, your liver is inflamed. So certain foods will help relieve some of the stress that the liver is experiencing. For starters, what you should avoid is white carbs, breads, sweets, pastries. Fried food is a big no-no. Anything with a lot of grease is going to be harsh on the liver, so it's best to avoid it. Soda, sugar-sweetened drinks, red meat, and processed meat like deli meat, hot dogs, pork. I remember for me, when I used to have those days where I really wanted comfort food, I would have a lot of back pain, I would have more fluid retention, so I would develop more ascites. So it's really just best to stay away from these. And the last one is margarine. So anything, butters that are high in fat, not recommended. So what can you eat? I listed all the things that you can't eat. So you can eat fatty fish. So those are your salmons, tuna, your sardines, if you like those, are all really high in omega-3 fatty acids. So they are helping your body digest, and they're a little bit lighter in terms of how much your liver is working. Nuts is a good thing. It's a good source of protein. Olive oil, so one of the cooking oils you can use olive oil, you can use coconut oil. Just stay away from canola oil, vegetable oil. Those types of oils don't break down well, so they're best to be avoided. But you can also eat fruits, specifically like berries, ones that are high in vitamin C, like oranges, tangerines. These have been tested as having high antioxidants and polyphenols. So along with the fruits is vegetables, right? You gotta eat your veggies.
Green leafy veggies.
Okay, so like your kale, your spinach. If your plate is really colorful, that's a good thing, naturally, right? Not with food coloring, but like natural colors. Tomatoes are really good too, not too much because of the acidity, but tomatoes, like the actual tomato, not really tomato sauce, is good for you. So in addition to the anti-inflammatory diet, you can also follow the Mediterranean diet. Now, this was named after the countries that border the Mediterranean Sea, and the CDC found that the citizens of these countries, they've shown the lowest reports of heart disease, diabetes, and even neurodegenerative diseases. These countries have had really low reports because of the food that culturally they've been consuming for many years. What is the difference between these two? Basically, the Mediterranean diet follows the same kind of foods as an anti-inflammatory diet. The only addition is you can have, in moderation, lean poultry and dairy. Emphasis on the in moderation, because obviously we know that there's a lot of salt in cheese. I would recommend maybe once a month or like once every 3 weeks you can have some cheese. I personally am a cheese lover, so I kind of ate it like once a week.
Cheese, I just love cheese, really I do.
But I would try to stick to the hard cheeses, so like Parmesan is okay. You can have some mozzarella, but like soft cheeses, brie cheese, feta cheese is really high in salt. You know, always check the salt levels in all your foods, guys. I think that's the main thing when you have cirrhosis and you have to manage your diet. Salt is a very important factor to watch, because the more salt you have in your food, the more fluid retention you have. The last thing I'll say about diet is your body's ability to retain glucose is like almost non-existent. So that's part of why you lose a lot of weight. Your fat on your body doesn't, like, it depletes a lot faster, and you burn your calories and your energy a lot quicker than the average person. Let's say someone has like a tuna steak with potatoes and veggies. That should give them energy for at least 4 to 6 hours. But if you have cirrhosis, you may have energy for 2 to 3 hours. So what's recommended when you have cirrhosis, it's to have about 5 to 6 meals a day. But that doesn't mean to eat a lot, because when you have the ascites, it's gonna be hard to actually eat because you're always full of fluid and it's gonna make you feel full. It's recommended to have about kind of like 2 fistfuls maybe of food on your plate, per meal, and then have small snacks in between that is like maybe the size of like your fingers. Obviously, whatever works for you, however much you can handle, that's kind of like the guidelines to really maintain that energy and make sure that you can still do your daily activities while still battling all of these symptoms, but at a level where you can handle it. Realize that I've been talking and like not folding. I'm not a very good multitasker. You can ask any of my friends. I can't do 2 things at the same time. You know what? That's a lie. I'm working on my fine motor skills. They are not, yeah, see, I can't even continue. Okay, anyways, let's try this. So the next way of management is to go to the doctor and get a paracentesis. So I'm sure many of you who have a more severe case of cirrhosis, probably stage 3, stage 4, experience ascites, where you have a large amount of fluid in your abdomen area. So, you know, you can definitely contact your hepatologist or your care team, and they can order you a paracentesis. And when they do that, they contact interventional radiology, and either they give you a call or you call them to schedule an appointment. It's usually a 2 to 4 hour process based on how many people are in line to get it done that day. I remember for me, I would go in like around 7 a.m. and I would come out at like 11:30. So if you do want to see specifically how that procedure goes, you can go to my TikTok and I'll post it somewhere here for you guys to check it out. And yeah, It's not the best thing in the world, but you do feel a lot better after you go through it. What hurts the most is once they inject the lidocaine, which is the numbing agent, that's what's gonna hurt. And then after you're done and they pull out the catheter, that hurts too. But it's very quick, and at least, you know, your stomach is like 3-4 times less of the size as it was when it came in. I actually forgot to write this down, but another way to manage your cirrhosis, and this is more for the Ascites standpoint, is to take more diuretics and to up your dosage. So I remember I was on at least 160 milligrams of spironolactone and 80 milligrams of Lasix. I took it twice a day actually, and I had a very specific, like I would always have to use the bathroom at the same time, especially in the morning, because I'm a teacher. So I remember third period was my normal time to go to the bathroom 3 times in a row every 10 minutes. And it was just, I mean, my co-teacher, bless his heart, he just knew the deal, so I had to go, duty calls. So yeah, that's one other way. Even though it is medication, negative side of that is, you know, when you're taking a lot of diuretics, they do say it can hurt your kidneys. But because I was getting blood work so often, thankfully they weren't affected too much by it. But again, make sure and talk to your doctor and see what you can handle. The more you take, the less paracentesis, or quote-unquote taps, because that's what they also call it, the less taps you'll have to have. And I know for me, my insurance covered a big part of it, but it was still like $80 every time, and that adds up. So I tried to take diuretics a lot more so that I wouldn't have to go to the hospital so often. And that's how you can manage liver cirrhosis. If I missed anything, and if there's something that you guys try or do that also helps manage your cirrhosis, please leave it in the comments below. And thank you guys for tuning in today. Catch you guys very soon in the next coming weeks. God bless you guys. Take care. Bye. Girl, I'm still recording. Bye, y'all. You must be out of your mind. Calling me up on your phone line. I hope I wasn't looking at the wrong camera this time, because I'm notorious for doing that, and I just did it again.